All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Gonna be touching on the top prop bets today on both PrizePicks and Underdog. Let's go in and get into it. So just pulling up the EV only sheet for PrizePicks right now, we're going to see that the two best prop bets that we are going to get are PGA props. So that's my way of calling out that I did add in PGA back into the PrizePicks cheat sheet, working on getting more props in there. Right now we have the three most popular: birdie or better, greens and regulation, and strokes. I want to get added in there fairways hit, and then bogeys as well. And I also want to do that for Underdog, but I got the three most popular ones in there. If you guys were using the tool earlier on today, you might have saw some weird kind of nuances going on. I was working on the tool, but that's why I wanted to add in PGA back in there. And just as an FYI, the reason why I was taken out is because, really up until this point in the season, we were seeing a lot of weird nuances where the tour is playing on different courses for the first couple rounds, which made kind of the data that was being pulled in not as good. I just want to call that out. But as you guys can see, we're getting really three good prop bets as it sits right now, maybe four in terms of just pure EV betting today. So I think a better indication of the prop bets that we're going to get is to look at the college basketball props. So let's go ahead and get into that. And so again, this seems like it's going to be the biggest edge that we have again today. Yesterday, the college basketball props went 4 for 5. It was pretty unfortunate that the Tigers went 1 for 2 on the day, or sorry, 1 for 3 on the day instead of 2 for 3. I would say that's been long overdue, but it would have been a pretty, great day yesterday had just another taco hit. Still not terrible. And actually, I personally got pretty lucky because the first 2 tacos I had missed. I decided to take the other 4 college basketball prop bets that we had together. I used that with the late night taco. Obviously, those ended up hitting. With the late night taco hitting, that really ended up saving my day. And literally the only reason why I did that is because the first 2 tacos had missed. Typically speaking, you guys know my strategy. Bet the 5 best prop bets that we have individually with the tacos. And then for what it's worth, I know a lot of people messaged me saying that they had a good Underdog day. I just took the top 5 Underdog prop bets that we had, which were the college basketball props. And my goodness, another insured slip hit. It's starting to get frustrating. This has been like 5 straight slates where it's went 4 for 5, and it's starting to get annoying. Give me a full cash, all right? But that's my way of saying we are getting some pretty good college basketball props today. Has been a source of profitability for us really in 2024, and hopefully we can continue to have success using these college basketball props. And so the first one we can see, and I thought someone brought up a very good point on yesterday's video. It's that the reason why PrizePicks might actually be higher right now than Underdog, and because that typically doesn't happen, is because there's no NBA going on right now. There's more people betting on college basketball, and people just naturally tend to bet the overs a little bit more. So maybe that's why PrizePicks is betting or is leading towards the lines being a little bit higher than they typically are, which has created this nice edge for us. And maybe there's something to that. Like this line right here, this seems to be a pretty good prop bet for Shannon Jr. to get under 33.5 fantasy score. That is seemingly a very good prop bet. We got Reeves for under his fantasy score. We can see across the board a pretty decent bet. We're getting one good EV bet right now for under assist. And again, college basketball wise, we typically just get the best prop bets for the most part. I do want to call it some prop line differences. As you guys know, this can be a nice source of profitability, is just chasing these prop lines that have these big prop line differences. And so we are seeing Shannon for under fantasy score. That's a pretty good one, but I want to flip this around. We are seeing some pretty big prop line differences, and we really shouldn't ever be seeing these big prop line differences. It's pretty crazy. I do like the idea of running out some middling chances here. So we got Ace Baldwin Jr. We can see this is 3.85 for a prop line difference. So what you could do is bet the over on PrizePicks and then bet the under on Underdog. Okay. What I would rather do though is we got Tyler Kolek here, where it's 3.35 for a prop line difference. And we can see basically the data is telling us that it probably should be closer to in the middle between these two lines. And so I do like that over bet for Tyler Kolek fantasy score. And then Mark Sears as well, basically the exact same situation. Now the projection day is a little bit more aggressive with those two lines, but again, there should never be that big of a prop line difference. They use the exact same scoring. And so the simple fact that we're getting 3 prop bets that are around 3 for a fantasy score difference, that to me seems like it's a pretty big edge. And then looking at hockey right now, I really don't like any of these prop bets for the most part, and so I'm just not going to be touching them. Just the NHL boards have been extremely tight. Last year this was a nice source of profitability for us because Underdog, PrizePicks, they weren't as responsive with their lines, and now basically any line that's a good prop bet just automatically gets bumped down or up depending on what the day is telling us to do. So not the best sport right now, it seems like, even though they should be giving us some good lines there, but they're not. And then I do just want to touch on NBA as it sits right now. We are getting some decent lines there as well. And so, yeah, we're going to be getting prop bets that pop in and off of this board. And I will be doing a separate video later on today covering the NBA slate more in depth. I know a lot of people like that, but it's tough to give you guys saying like, oh, these are great bets, because they are like these good EV bets that have a 54% chance or better to hit. But those are lines that I do expect to get corrected. So it's like kind of a waste of breath and really a waste of your guys to tell you guys to bet these. Now, yes, if they are still available, by all means, they're going to be good prop bets, but I don't see PrizePicks leaving those prop bets out there. And then lastly, it's just jump back into college basketball, but looking at it on the other side of things from Underdog's perspective, you know, again, getting some pretty good lines. I'm just going to do the top 5 here, but I'm also going to run out the middling that I mentioned earlier with PrizePicks and Underdog as well. So let's go and give you guys the bet of the day on both sites. So let's show you guys what you could use for the PrizePicks slip here. And for some reason, there's some server issues going on. I'm not able to log in right now. I don't know if that's going on with you guys right now with PrizePicks, whatever. But right now, Tyler Kolek for over fantasy score. Again, that's a decent million opportunity. If you wanted to pair that up with Mark Sears as well, where the data is telling us to bet the over as well, that does make sense. But really, these top 3 are going to be 3 prop bets that have a prop line difference of around 3. So what you could do is, obviously, PrizePicks, you want to bet the over for these. And then obviously on the flip side of that, you could run out the exact opposite of that on Underdog. Again, there should never be that big of a prop line difference. The best bet would be Ace Baldwin for under his fantasy score, though, in comparison to the PrizePicks line that we are getting. Now, the 2 best ones that we are getting with the college basketball props are going to be these 2, these right here. So really for the bet of the day, I would just suggest either running out the first 3 on both sites. You could do an insured slip on Underdog, and you could do a flex slip on PrizePicks. That way, you know, if 2 out of 3 hits on either of the sites, you're either making a profit or not losing too much. You know, that's up to you guys. Personally, I think I'm just going to run them as a 3 slip bet on both sites. But really, the bet of the day is going to be these 2. And then again, if you want to run out these 2 golfers for over their birdies or better as well, you could do that. And just by looking at the other lines out there, you can see probably should be set at 5. These are 2 of the better golfers. Now, they are playing later in the day. I think that's why it's set at 4.5 instead of 5. And then showing you guys real quickly the Underdog actual bet of the day. Again, if you guys want to run out the middling opportunity, by all means, go for that. These are the 5 best prop bets that we are currently getting on Underdog for college basketball. And to me, that's where we are getting the biggest edge. So by all means, I'm going to be running these prop bets out again as an insured slip. I do want to point out, guys, that it's weird. February bet of the day percent-wise of them hitting has been better than January. Profit-wise, it has not. You know, January we got, I would say, lucky in some instances. In February, we've been a little bit unlucky in some situations here and there. That's my way of saying that although we are probably due to have, you know, those small little breaks go our way soon, at the same time, the bets are hitting at an insane rate. You know, only 4 times in 2024 had the bet of the day picks been under 50% on the day collectively, you know, between PrizePicks and Underdog. That is due to come down. That is an insane rate, right? Like most people would be happy with that in a week. So that is due to come down. I just want to point that out. It wouldn't be shocking if that happens today, tomorrow, or whatnot. Eventually that's going to come to an end. You know, my job, I feel like, is to set the proper expectations. So that's what I'm trying to do here as well. That's going to be all for today's video. If you guys want access to the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's have a good slate today. And as always, let's keep cashing.